What up, YouTube? We meet again. I'm 2 days strong here. I'm gonna try to keep it going. We'll see. So I was just looking at Meta, one of my chats. Looks like shit. Look at that candle. But you have this tweezer bottom, so a lot of chop still. If we go to SPY, which again we're still bullish over here in my camp, which is just me in my camp. This is the daily chart. Of course, we have a lot of selling here. So you have 1, 2, 3. We didn't even get up that high on this day. But it's still, we have a higher low here on the daily chart at the daily support zone. So not much has changed. If you do updates daily, there's not going to be much that changes day to day unless there's some volatility, which the volatility was shit, I think, today. Yeah, looks just like Facebook. So that's interesting because Meta, not that Meta means anything. Look at that candle. So that means they sold off stocks. And they also sold off volatility. So who's right? Are we going to crank up vol? I don't think so. I think vol is going to melt back down to the 17 handle. Just based off these curls and just the sentiment or what have you. But we'll see. So, again, SPY, higher lows, should continue on. It should really get some legs up into, again, the 5,900 area. 59, 590, 6,000 is what I've been preaching. And, I'm still going to stick to that. We may not even get up there because you got this trend line here, this up trend line that was broke here. So, again, we could run into some resistance if we get above here, up at the 580, 5,900. Again, it's either 5,900 or 590 if you're looking at MES, MES, SPX, SPY, it's all the same shit. QQQ, same type of thing. Obviously, it's more weak than S&P because tech is more weak, which tech is basically 3 to 4 fucking companies. Let's be honest. All right, and then MAGs. There's the scenarios I have, which, again, I said it's going to go sideways, which I don't give a shit about what I say. I just give a shit about making money, not about being right. There's plenty of times where I'm wrong. So, are we going to launch off here? We tried to go lower, fake breakout, but we couldn't go higher. So still a lot of indecision. We could squiggle sideways and then dump this big trend line on MAGs, which would not be good, of course, for stocks. Or this could be the bottom and we run up here to 52 or even break 60s to new highs in this ticker, which is, again, MAGs with a little bit of fixed income. So it's not 100% MAGs, but it is what it is. Semiconductors, the motherfucking leaders of it all. Let me go to the 1 hour chart. All right, so that broke, so I could just clean this up. So now we need to just see what semiconductors do here, because semiconductors, this is a pretty steep trend line. So if that breaks, it's not, that means it's all over, because it's not that holds much merit or weight. So yeah, below 220, 218, we're gonna go down big, and especially below 210 on SMH. And again, here's a zoomed out view of that chart. Which, yeah, I mean, this is like an inverse head and shoulders here, shoulder, head right here, which is the bullish. Here's the neckline that we should break, and then if we do, there's a whole pattern that people do. You can Google it. Inverted head and shoulder, neckline, target. So what's going to happen? Are we going to get up in here and stall at the 240 area like the other markets? A lot of the markets look the same. They all have a big leg down. They're all doing jack shit, rotating a little bit higher. They're all going to come into a big wall of resistance where there's a whole bunch of people long right here that want to get out. So if price gets up here, they'll probably sell it out, meaning price will have trouble getting above this again now that it broke it because everyone long here is trapped. They want to get the fuck out. When the price gets up here, they sell out. That creates a sell order. If there's more sell orders at this area than buy orders, then price is going to do what? It's going to go down. And that's what I think may happen. We'll see. This is the top stocks in the S&P 500, I think. Top 20 stocks. These are the top names. Again, this is just kind of like a proxy index. So you have Apple, NVIDIA, whatever the fuck you say the name is, Jensen, Microsoft, Buffett, Avgo, and Meta. Which again, mostly is Apple. Which again, this is struggling. Everything's struggling at its resistance level, which some have deepened more than others. Some have further to go. Tech sector, this is the technology stocks, same type shit, like I said. So it's the same type boat and all these names. I track these because these are the top things that matter, and then these are the top sectors that hold the most weight within this SPY to tell me the context. So, I just break it down, and go from a top down to a more granular level of approach, as needed based on what's moving. So like if XLK is hot, then we see what's Apple doing, what's NVIDIA doing, what are the top names doing. So then I could go maybe take more concentrated, try to generate better alpha than going long at QQQ or XLK, for example, versus going long Apple, NVIDIA, Microsoft shares, but I usually use options. Then you'll have a better return if the individual underlying moves a lot further than the index or the sector ETF, which usually it will. That's why the indexes are nice and the sectors are nice, because it balances out your risk, but your also returns will suffer. So yeah, indexing is good and bad, I guess, at that point. Palantir is trying to pull this pattern. Again, I try to just forecast things to keep me focused on my bias, which I have a plan of Palantir breaking up, pulling back, and going higher. And so far it's breaking out, but again, very puss-like, not very strong, wussy, even price action here. So a wuss is a wimp plus a puss, so Palantir is a wuss. NVIDIA, whatever the fuck, it broke this steep trend line, which I'll move this because it's, of it again. But I don't read into this if this breaks. Same type pattern where I'll draw the fib here and make sure, we're holding here. 111, 112, 111 needs to hold. 112 classic RB band needs to hold right here. Tesla, fucking everyone's favorite liberal. Liberals are burning Teslas, but yet driving Teslas. Liberals drive Teslas, yet hate Musk. They're fucking idiots. Environmentalist groups are literally burning Tesla, which is supposed to be green. It's just so funny how dumb fucking liberals and Democrats truly are. They don't have any innovation. They don't have any ideas. They're like Snapchat. They might as well just hang up or be bought by Republicans because they fucking suck. Not that I get too political, but I mean, they don't have any logic, any ammo in their gun. Not that I'm a huge Trump fan, but at least he's doing something and says something and does what he says, where the other people just blame and shame. They don't offer any solutions, any help. And they all hide. Where is Biden now? Where is Harris? I haven't seen him for 6 years. All right, so Tesla in this area right here, but again, it's making higher lows. So 1 hour chart, I trade off 5 minute charts too. This obviously has more weight than a 1 hour or than a 5 minute, but not as much as a daily. But again, I think Tesla should stay here and go higher, especially because the sentiment indicators are like usually a Jim Cramer tweet or usually a magazine cover or something tells you, oh shit, the top's in or the bottom's in, and basically Walt's fucking Twitter tweet is basically the bottom is in on Tesla. I think the fact that he's out there doing all that shit talking means it ain't much bad news. And ever since he said shit, it hasn't even done anything. So nobody gives a shit about that guy or his opinion. But this should go higher again. Tesla, Apple, again, they kind of look the same. So it's kind of just looking at synonymous type chart. Meta, same shit. Amazon, same shit. They're all at their big halfway backs. They're all great buys. It's just a matter of which one's going to outperform versus not. But they're all, way down, all at their supports. Here's Microsoft. Here's AMD. I've been waiting to buy this, but I don't want to get early. Once it gets above here, I'll start to press this bitch. Avgo, no position. Supermicro, still waiting. MSTR is just like a Bitcoin proxy play, of course, with a lot more embedded leverage. Like, you need more of that. But again, I'm still in MSTU, like I mentioned. Interest rates, this is basically the 10-year yield ETF. I mean, they look almost identical, so I just use this as a proxy. You can see that price action. So this tells me what interest rates are doing. This tells me what bonds are doing. And bonds were going up, and I've been bonds all year, but I took profits. I'm still long, but now I'm reevaluating because this could easily be resistance, and we're going to test these lows. It's basically right here what I have here. And TLT matters. The bond market is bigger than the financial market, or what have you. And then the dollar is really important as well, for the Forex market. But this rallying is growth scare. This dropping is inflation scare. So, if the market's worried about growth, then this will go up, which will be bullish stocks, but bearish once the market finds out why this is going up. It's not good that this is going up. Just because this is going up and rates are going down, that doesn't always mean, bullish equities, But I'm no macro guy. Again, I'm dumb. Degen. I just focus on charts, price action, volume, open interest, liquidity, etc. Technicals, fractals, fibs, moving averages, indicators, what have you. And here's the dollar, which I'm short this. But I recently also started to get long this in another account by shorting the euro. I'm shorting the pound, and basically waiting for the dollar to get a mean reversion play, and then those other equities or future plays will come in. Is the goal. Here's Bitcoin, IBIT, just not doing much. Let me update this chart now, actually. Did that one break? All right, yeah, so that was kind of dirty, but it worked. So yeah, so there's the fib. So yeah, this area needs to hold for Bitcoin, which is whatever, IBIT. Commodities, not doing jack shit, but I have on my radar. These are different types of commodities. One's more oil filled and energy, where this is more ags. You can see coffee, cattle, which food prices, are staying sticky. And eggs, I think, are still pretty wild. Here's oil. I'm wondering what oil's going to do, but like I said, I'm waiting for a move because I just don't want to get chopped up, and I don't want to play mean reversion, and I don't want to babysit this. I want to put on a position and just leave it once I know. Well, I never fucking truly know, but once I have my path and mind made up. Natural gas looks like this should keep going higher, but this one is volatile, for sure. So this one made a lower high rate here, and I'm not in this. I was long, but I got out. But I'm waiting to get long again. But this thing can melt quick. Like, it's very volatile. Natty gas. So, but this trend is up, and so it'd be silly to not have a long bias down here just because this fib traded. Let me delete that. And this is why I use fibs for entries and exits. Nothing's perfect, but you could see enter around here, exit at these green lines, you close to it. It's kind of like clockwork. Look, you have to be patient. Obviously, this is all hindsight, but you draw this before this is here, and this gives you a guide. And it also helps with your risk reward because you enter around here, that is your stop, and then this is your target. So, you're literally gonna have most of your risk managed already without even doing anything. Because if you put your stop here, somewhere in here, even in this area, and then you exit here or here, what is that? That's a 8-1 win. So you don't have to. You can lose 80-90% of the time and still have a profit. And then this is a 5-1, which is still the same type. You only need to win, 15 to 20, whatever the math is, to make money. So that's why I use fibs. And if we're gonna keep streaming, which hopefully I can, then we'll keep drawing these up. I'll delete that one. So that would mean the next fib to play, if this was the one that traded, would be this one, meaning price should pull back into these two lines, and if it's bullish, it should go higher. If it doesn't, then that's some nice generated market information to tell you, hey, maybe it's not ready to go higher. It's going to drop lower now, but there's some support here at this uptrend line. And this downtrend line should become new support as well once it broke out. So I anticipate Natty Gas pulling one of these bad boys. If this isn't a low, it should come back down here, test, and then head up higher. So that's what I have on that. Gold, I'm still shorting this bitch. It's just being a fucking problem child. Every time it gets some legs, and I'm using the future, so it's a little bit different price action, trades 24 hours, but same shit. They just keep buying this fucker, but it's way overextended on the daily chart. Like I've mentioned before, it's just way up. See how I talked about these two targets that you'd hit when you enter? Not only did we hit those two, we never even pulled back and we just kept going, which is rare to get up to this target from this Fibonacci trade level. So again, short gold. Silver, same thing. Silver may have to play catch up to gold, but they kind of move in tandem. But I am long silver, but long term. I don't have a short term view on silver now. Copper, I'm also long, but I'm using FCX right here, which is breaking out here. This just looks like XOM, which is another one I'm in. This is oh, those are some old notes. This is one I basically just entered right at this breakout, and I've just been waiting, because if this goes higher, then it'll be my oil play or frat, whatever you want to call it. But anyways, copper looks like it's gonna go higher, but again, this thing likes to play games. I feel like, just like the other metals, gold. Emerging markets, which is mostly just China, I feel like, because the top holdings are China names. But it's good to track. I've been long this, but I don't have really any comment. I'm short China with Queb, which is basically the internet ETF, higher beta names probably, if I had to assume, relative to FXI. So I am short that with some puts, but not big risk. Brazil, I'm in this long but not huge, waiting for what's going to happen. Some of these emerging markets, of course, will move off the dollar. So if the dollar rallies back, these type of currency or these type of markets will drop usually, and if the dollar stays weak, these will go up. But we'll see. They're saying it's end of U.S. exceptionalism, blah blah blah. Money's leaving the U.S. markets. Why? Where are they going? Shitty fucking Europe. I mean, I'm long Europe. I'm long a lot of different names with this past portfolio through another guy named Chase, who's a great trader, macro Reds report. But yeah, Europe, Kuwait, emerging markets, everyone's performing way better than the U.S. But again, is that going to be forever? I doubt it, because the U.S. is the U.S. We have all those, Mag 7, who led the market for 5 years. So it's like, are those just going to go away and someone else is going to lead? Then how? What are they going to bring to the table? We'll see. But yeah, obviously Mag 7 is getting its ass handed to it. And then lastly, here's Brazil or China. I mean, shit. Japan, which usually I have here, Nikkei, whatever the fuck, leads SPY. And as you could see, look, it broke out. It's going higher. So if this leads SPY up and it leads SPY down, then we should expect SPY to go now higher, which is ES, SPOOs, whatever. So Japan leads. We'll see. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. So again, we'll see what happens tomorrow. Tomorrow's quad witching, so you'll probably get a lot of bullshit price action from the market makers as they try to manipulate and pin price to their liking. So we may get some funny business or just stupid ass price action tomorrow, or not. Hopefully we get a big move one way or the other, because I'm liking the vol. But again, with VIX melting back down, we're gonna get less of those big 5-minute 20-point candles on ES or bars, which are great for day trading or scalping. I've been loving it. And it sucks for swing trading, because you just get chopped up when the market goes up and down and ends up nowhere. People that try to buy the breakouts, they get fucking stopped, and the people that try to sell the breakdowns, they get stopped as the market just mean reverts, chops in a tight range. So we'll see what's gonna happen. Is there anything else? No, I mean, that's pretty much it. I covered all these markets. Again, I may tweak this and try to simplify this down, but this really is the main crux of the markets. These are just all the high flyers, Mag 7, or these are the ones that have the most liquid options that trade every day. I get a report, and consistently it's NVDA, Tesla, Apple in the top. Palantir's in there in the mix. All these others. Sometimes there's like a random shitty stock, but most of the time it's these bad boys. So I just keep an eye on these because they have the highest liquidity with options, and again, you're usually higher beta names, so they can move 8%, 10% in a day, which is good for out of the money calls or out of the money puts, is what I usually do if I'm not trading shares or futures or what have you. So yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna maybe simplify this list, or maybe just, I don't know, I gotta cut it. I gotta see, because all these mean something to me, or they let me get again the overview from a mile high, and then just scale it down as needed, so then I can see what's really, popping. But anyways, any questions, holla. I don't give a shit if you like this. I don't give a shit if you watch this. I hope you do. If somebody benefits, great. But yeah, I hate those thirsty people. Oh, please give me a like. Please give me a kiss. Who's begging for friends and fans? This isn't OnlyFans. But anyways, all right, guys. Buenos noches. Good luck out there. Manage that risk and holla.